different treatments can be given to that person. I think that also ought to also fuel the discussion that we are making. And thirdly, the directive of the president. On what basis was the president giving that directive? Was he looking at the capacity of all the health institutions together as one and saying on the basis that, oh, nobody should turn away anybody in an emergency situation? Was he forward thinking? For the one and almost a half years in government, has this administration been forward thinking, looking at the growing numbers of clientele into our health institutions that requires attention and the possibility of extending health infrastructure in the country? No. We are only focused on finding ways and means to aggravate and accumulate some sort of reward for themselves in an era where he then believes that he focus on company healthcare rather than the response to emergency. And I say this, Alfa, you see, the president so much and the administration so much are doing what they term as timely health. It's an emergency situation of timely healthcare. And on what basis was he therefore directing that nobody should be turned away, and that what circumstances should nobody be turned away? I will feel at a disadvantage when I'm being turned away. So you would also. So my mother would also. So my children would also. And everybody in this country would also. But the fact still remains that as a government, you must be forward thinking to expand infrastructure rather than stopping infrastructure that was on the growth trajectory. Only for you to come back and be telling people that under these circumstances, they ought not to. You would have been the same person complaining. Should they have sent individuals and they'll be lying on the corridors and on the floor of these hospitals having treatment? And such sort of mode of treatment will not in any way even have benefited the individual. First, he's giving notice that we have this hospital and we have this hospital here. We are going to collaborate with them so that the first case of emergency be attended to at these areas. Where need be, what proper referrals could then be brought to us where we may have been able to decongest in 24 hours. It is not a suggestion, one way or the other. I'm not holding this for the hospital, neither holding this for the CEO, but I'm only saying that when precaution and prudence require notification of sin, it should have been. Let me give you a classical example. Assuming that somebody may have had an incident on the tsunami route, and that person, while being transported in an emergency situation, would have had the St. Hospital, which is currently in operation, but would have been bypassed, or even the LV hospital at Kwadaso, both would have been bypassed, which would have accumulated that person in an emergency situation, only for the person to be sent to the Confirmatory Teaching Hospital, where the track, where the orange, and where all the areas of the emergency have been blocked out in terms of the numbers of patients that are being attended to by the health professional. Whereas that person could have been, first and foremost, reported to at the Kwadaso Hospital or the Symposium Hospital for first care of emergency situations we attended, treatment we attended to that person. Wouldn't that have been prudent rather than sit away? And the minister and the government, instead of addressing the critical issues of health infrastructure, it's only scapegoating, so mindset, and attributing himself as people may probably would have said a Tarzan mate. He walks from a tree, branch of a tree, and you know the Tarzan character. He always moving from a tree like a monkey, holding on branches. Looking through the forest. And that's exactly what
you think it's too harsh on the minister. Perhaps the minister is trying to be responsive. He's trying to be responsive to the needs of the people. He's trying to be the man more or less pushing for the concerns of the people to be addressed. Maybe the form he has chosen may not go down well with you, but perhaps let's look at the purpose for which he's doing these things. Don't you think so?
You know, the form is equally as good as the staff in matters of reality and when it affects human life. So therefore, if he talks about accountability and the rest, he also needs to be accountable. You see, Alfa, let us not be blinded by, oh, the minister wants to let people do that. If the minister shows and is equally wanting responsibility and thinking about the people that we so clearly thinking about now, there are health infrastructure projects that are completed in the region. Let us not run under the cover, oh, it means that, it means that. That would have been operational only with personnel being put or employed in those areas. But for the lack of this government's competence in doing that, they've left all of these health facilities to be rotten and only come back to us again and tell us, oh, look at this hospital. Look up, even at your gate, when you don't drive through your gate for a week, by the time you get there, you probably will find weeds growing there. How much more health facilities that are completed that only needs operationalization with the employment of health professionals into these areas that have been left working in the bush. Go and look at a 500-bed hospital facility with 2 theaters, modern theaters, everything sorted out. That needs to be operationalized just because we don't have professionals being sent there. Go and look at Syria. Who can tell me Syria is not completed? Who can tell me curriculum is not completed? Who can tell me Syria is not completed? All of these four facilities under the former administration has been left working in the bush. And you are now telling me that nobody should, one way or the other, yes, I may agree with the principle, but not to tell people that attend to other areas because emergency situation, we are left up in terms of capacity. And we are not saying that the minister is acting responsible for the welfare of the ordinary citizens. No. The minister and the administration is recklessly managing the health infrastructure of this country. What is it? Look, in terms of, let me tell you, in current terms,
okay,
what is the capacity of a kiosk that we are putting up in the name of public health, public health care, as compared to these facilities that I've mentioned to you? Since these facilities would have been used for the same primary healthcare and emergency situation at the same day, but we found the minister and the president working around commissioning kiosks as primary healthcare facilities in this country. We are in this country. Somebody may say, let's ask time to different. Somebody may say, oh, it was an overly ambitious project by Nana Bidanko Ekufuadu to do 111 hospitals. Look at the intent of a great man who knew that the capacity of our health facilities in one way or the other will not be able to accumulate the numbers. And let's go for 111 hospitals and do them together as we move along. They will not all be completed at the same time, but I'm mentioning to you some of them, 3 of them in the region, they have been completed. Why aren't they being a person? Country in this country that we go about trusting that every district and every municipal assembly to be building safe compounds by the administration. Isn't that one of their policies? That is the building safe compounds. What is a safe compound? Can you compare a safe compound to the current status of any of these 4 facilities that I've mentioned to you? Can you, in fairness, tell yourself, go and look at the equipment in these hospitals that are rusting away. Air conditions are there, MRIs are there, scans are there, laboratory equipment are there. Only under the guise that, oh, they did not be completed. At times, for one of them, you didn't have the intention that the minister told us, if you remember, that one of them, the mortuary is not operationalized. The mortuary is not operationalized. Am I right? That is what one of the reasons why he told us that these facilities cannot be working. You are constructing safe compound. What is the capacity of a safe compound? What is the structure of a safe compound? What are the infrastructure in a safe compound? But aren't people treated in those compounds? So much more the Syria hospital in this current state, the hospital in this current state. And let nobody say the 111 is ambitious, because you have a president whose only and an administration whose only intention of a promise of a 24-hour economy is the construction of 261 24-hour markets. My brother, the construction of 261 markets, and you are complaining about the president, Nana Bakoko, who had foresight of building 111 hospitals, compare 111 hospitals and 251 24-hour markets. And look at between the two of them, which makes sound reasoning for the good welfare and the prosperity of the ordinary Ghanaian. And we are not talking about a minister trying to do this and he has the people at hand. No, we are recklessly managing the health sector of the economy.
Okay, now let's come to the hospitals. You've mentioned Afari Military Hospital, 500 bed capacity. You have Siwa, which is supposed to be the regional hospital for the Ashanti region, also with 250 bed capacity. If these two are completed, that will come to 750 bed capacity hospitals. That will be enough pressure taken off CAF. From where you sit, having done your analysis, why do you think it's still not been operationalized? Is it because of issues of prioritization that perhaps they are not a priority? Or it's perhaps an issue of lack of funds? Perhaps the Ministry of Finance has not released funds to the Ministry of Health for these hospitals to be operationalized. What do you think?
Other, the two together is the responsibility of government, first and foremost. It is not their priority. And in my local dialect, we say, and that they do not want
they feel embarrassed to complete it. That's what
they feel embarrassed not to complete it, but to operationalize it. They want to keep it waiting and deteriorating. Then they will go back to it with contractors. Then they will say there is a need for us to do a revaluation of it, and there is this need here, there is that here, this infrastructure person has gone off, and that let us go and award for rehabilitation of it. Then whatever they will do from that, they will do. Meanwhile, these hospitals you and now know for a fact are completed. It is left to the operationalization of it, which will require financing of critical health personnel into this. And in this country, we don't lack critical health persons. Doctors, nurses, laboratory scientists, we don't lack them. There are countless numbers of them at home. The intention was to finish these ones and be employing them. These are finished. This one too is finished, about 700 bed capacity. What is stopping this government with the so-called threatening of economic whatever be done, recovery whatever be done, and that this country is moving and that the economy is thriving and that could not and cannot now employ health professionals into these facilities for it to work. Do you know the economy and the sort of generation of prosperity that this one would have brought, aside the healthcare that Ghanaians are going to benefit from? So it is just the two of them, which is the direct responsibility of the ineptitude. You cannot tell me that the hospital cannot be operationalized as we stand today or even yesterday. You cannot tell me that the senior hospital cannot be operationalized yesterday or even today. But it's because we are not a time and in Gafia and happy woman, they cannot in any way function themselves going there and making it operationalized with all the real value that they said, such that none of them can say, when you're not the other movie. But we take people go to some of these hospitals that are operational now and go and look at the infrastructure in these hospitals as compared to the infrastructure as in the hospital that is mentioned now today here.
I don't know if you've heard I don't know if you've heard relating to Sewa specifically. Some few weeks ago, we heard that some persons have got in there and stolen some items in the hospital. I don't know if it came to you.
Do you blame those persons in as much as that is a criminal activity and that needs to be condemned and they must be punished? Do you blame those individuals? Do you blame those individuals? When did you ever hear that people in the current state of Malaysia Hospital, in the current state of St. Hospital, in the current state of Convalescent has broken into and stolen equipment from those hospitals? It's because of the neglect and the abandonment of it. If there were no equipment, would people have gone in there to steal equipment as they report? It tells you that there are equipment in there. It is not a cell. There are equipment in there that needs to be operated by individuals. So the people are telling you that if you are not going to operate them in those facilities, you are taking them somewhere to go and operate it. It is a criminal activity, but it is only telling on us that currently we have equipment sitting in the hospital that have been abandoned under the guise of non-completion by this current administration because it was started under the previous administration and completed under them, and therefore we do not want to be seen like your car calling our press, your car so man, that's all my would does this make that sense to you as an ordinary person when you have a government? You see, they felt that they are put and how the elections of 2024 went, the country has been mortgaged to them, and that people are insulated from what we see. People may be insulated, But when the feeling of their ineptitude and incompetence in management of our economy and let other sectors come to play, they are not going to be the losing end. But what now, Daniel? Haven't you heard over the past 1 week that the regional minister of Ashanti region has gone to the US with the wife to go and deliver there? That is what we've all been reading of. We've never sworn any disclaimer on that matter. So we can.
He said what I've heard is UK instead of US. Even though it doesn't change.
That is very interesting. So now we are even confirming. You see, you understand? Now we are even confirming that it is true that it's in the UK.
Yeah, that's what I've
heard. That is name. Yeah, the UK and the US, you and I do. Primarily, apart from the pound and the dollar, there cannot be any proper differentiation between them aside the king also ruling them. But however, he did not take the right. He accepts compound that he so called that he's constructing the ordinary Ghanaian. Our mothers and sisters go to the peace compound to deliver. Is the wife more human than any other person in the region? He will go and pride himself that he's opening a public health center in the kiosk to oversee the health of the people and will be holding them. They will be bringing us Aboboya as ambulances. We'll be holding them. But when we do, he took the way to the UK to deliver. And that he is really using that in an ambassador or the Italian poor. Or the Italian poor. And look at my son. I'm a player all round and that kind of. And that is the attitude of people that who are managing the region. And because now, you have a lot of people, you have AI generated responses on social media and the rest. You go there and it's like he's the king of all. And only for someone to come and you walk in there and say, you've gone to have discussion with management and the leaders of the groupings such that an amicable solution. The amicable solution to be had is that telling your minister for finance who claims that he's sending money to the ministries and the ministries are also telling us that they don't find the money. Because you and I know what is happening in this country now. There is a tussle between the group minister and the finance minister over 1.6 or 1.9 billion Ghana cedis. And he's so saying he has transferred to him that he says he has not received.
I saw the
so
video.
To go and tell the finance minister that what is important is for him to release money for the specialization of these computer hospitals for the region. We do not need these sort of social media antics that the minister is going about while there are hospitals working in the business now being endorsed by youth and people entering in there taking whatever they would want to as breaches of neglect by the current administration. You see, this is the problem we have now. That is the problem. Look at how the recruitment process of even the nurses was being done. So abysmal that they do not even want to recruit people. They tell you there are spaces that there are no positions, there are positions, there are no spaces. These are antique and these are rhetoric. There are hospitals that are begging for people to work, and there are people who are kneeling down begging us to work. Open these facilities for them to work, and they can also attend to the same critical emergency situations. What are we doing to ourselves as a country? So somebody gets an emergency, we say entire. And so it's the most closest that has two plaques, two emergencies, and that person cannot be treated there because of what? Because the minister and the administration are spoken, let's personalize it. And therefore the person has to be right from entire all the way to Confanote. I do think this is prudent management of the economy. When people were thinking, knowing that people we are growing from 28 million to 30 million to 31 million to 33 million, and Confanote, as you properly known as G, has been there since the 19th, whatever. And therefore we need to expand so that these critical areas where we tend to say they were split, which have now grown into cities and communities, we also have closer proximity to healthcare facilities. We are here now saying that this was an good intent and accountability. Keep the minister. What accountability measures if we put in place to open these health facilities and let people for them to have dignity in their life after completion of school so that they can also attend to him. When he had emergency, when he was traveling, if you remember, so late somewhere 2024, when he had emergency, you know when he was driven from Confederate Teaching Hospital, where he was given preferential treatment because he was then a ranking member on the health committee. He was near somewhere at a block. Do you know the nearest hospital that would have been to him? So assuming that somebody ends up in a block or in another emergency, the person would have to be given to Confederate. So once you have a military hospital referral center there. I mean, this is wrong. The point is that what has happened shows that clearly there is a deficit in the management of our health facility in this country. You remember how he was a deputy, he was a ranking member on the health committee in 2024. He went to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Do you remember? He went to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital that there is an elevator that was not working. Blew that out in proportion. Just for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes that the elevator was not working. I see the whole Kolebu Teaching Hospital had come to a standstill. When he was the deputy, when he was the ranking member, he drove all the way from Accra with the entirety of his minority caucus to a teaching hospital, telling everybody that it's completed. Look, we are letting news grow by it. Go back and look at those videos. Go back and look at those videos. You were given an opportunity to run the health ministry. After all of these showmanship that you did, with all the charade, and now the same hospital you want to stand there telling us that it's been completed and that we have to put people in and we are going to have automatic placement of the nurses and the rest. No, you've left people working for the past almost 18 or so months, and you want to come and tell us that you are requiring accountability. You are requiring accountability from him. You are requiring accountability from him.
In summary, would you say this government, if they are so minded, can organize and of course galvanize for resources to complete at least or operationalize Afari until within the next month? Or what timelines do you think will be ideal or will be, practicable for them to be able to operationalize these hospitals? Because I think the critical thing is we need these hospitals to come on stream so that the pressure will be reduced on Konfanochi.
If they are minded and they really think about the ordinary Ghanaian as they see clean, but not in the Talvanic approach that they are using to govern, I can confidently tell you, by the end of this month, these hospitals must be operationalized. It is only sending the individuals, they allocating them responsibilities as well as management for it to be operationalized. Go and see the facilities that we are running, the places that people are working now, and compare it to the current state of these hospitals that we talk about. It's just because all that we are telling us, that the gains and whatever is not reflective of the current situation that we have in this country. But just because, we quoted the single digit, when we talk, the dollar is down, when we talk, the fuel is down, when we talk, so that has been the mantra, and everybody, yes, because admittedly, when we were in government, the dollar was about 14 cities, when we were leaving, the fuel was about 14 cities. Now we are running at the same numbers. But we are being told, this is better than before. Let me tell you, my brother, and let me tell every person, today in this world, we have an epidemic called Ebola. This is epidemic. Do you fear Ebola as we speak now? Do you fear Ebola? Have you even heard a moment of this in this country? You don't. After I lived in Kumasi with you, you know that it got to a time that you were not sitting behind the console and the mic. You are not. For a period. Today there is Ebola. Have you stayed at home? Has anybody in this country stayed at home?
No, we are not doing it.
Everybody is working. Everything is moving normal in this country. But when the world flew with a pandemic, not an epidemic. This one is even started in Africa. The Ebola is starting in Africa. That one we are not even afraid of. Everybody is working, going about. I just heard him about 3 days ago saying that we should be cautious and not be greeting, and because of public figures you have to be greeting, and therefore the pandemic, the epidemic of Ebola is real, and therefore when you go to that means you should not be greeting people and the rest. If you don't want to greet people, then you don't want to greet people because people have not even heard about it. We have noticed that it's an illness that is occurring in Africa, but the magnitude of it is not affecting in the same proportion as when we had the pandemic in 2000. 2020 and 2021. That period after we were at home, everybody was at home. There was a rippling effect on the economy, but they lambasted us. Now, look at where we are. We are faced with the same standard, the same figure, even worse of it than when they were lambasting us. That is how easy that the president told us some time ago that we are easily forgetfulness. We have that we easily forget things. And they are capitalizing on that. They are running us over because of the victory that they had in 2024 with their incompetence again. You say it and people feel like you are being harsh. You are not being harsh. You can criticize us for all the things that we did in our administration. No problem with that. But put shame to these individuals. The expectation on us has always been higher. And we admit and we like that. Because we have the capacity to think beyond comprehension and make things happen in difficult times. But these don't have. When even they have the luxury of time, they have the luxury of everything, they cannot think about their noses for them to see what is happening on the ground. But they'll still be sitting on their high horses. I think this is when we need to condemn it and bring them to their place. Because you see, a broken health care system is a disaster to every nation. You see what COVID did to the economies of this world and the health infrastructure of this world, not only Ghana. When the health systems could not control the magnitude of the problem in 2020 and 2021, you see what happened in this world. Everyone's collapsed. Businesses collapsed. But which business is collapsing now? Under a pandemic or an illness or a sickness in the world. Businesses are collapsing only under the incompetence of the current administration. Hospitals are not functioning. And your own people are drawing your attention to the fact that we are overwhelmed in capacity and in numbers. And even my staff are being stretched over their capacities because they continuously work under certain strenuous conditions and the staff also becomes weary. And their ability to think and manage these emergency situations will also be compromised. And therefore, under these circumstances, let us think beyond what we say with our mouth that don't admit, but let us tell them to be so that they can have people something. Wow, can you see what the Association of Ghana Medical Doctors said? And that of the Confederate Teaching Hospital Doctors and the Nurses said, go and complete these hospitals. Go and operationalize them. The completion is the operationalization. So when we say go and complete it, it means go and operationalize it. And we are not looking at that. We are not looking at that. That is the real cause. Look at what they've done to Major. Under the guise that the World Bank said there was procurement in duties and the rest. All the facilities in the hospital, all the health infrastructures that were built in the last administration, because of how he criticized the former minister for health, criticized the president and how they don't that nothing was happening and that. He cannot, in all fairness and in all humility, as a minister, personalize these things and the government so that the people will obviously tell you, my friend, you could not have done this under 6 months. Okay. You could not have built this hospital under 6 months. So just go and put people into it, and it's okay. So we talk about and it's okay. What kind of behavior is this?
Oh, no, thank you very much. Thank you very much for spending time with us this morning. We are very much grateful that
thank you very much, Alfa. I'm most grateful.
Yes, and that's the Member of Parliament for the people of Maisha North constituency. He's a member of the Minority Caucus in Ghana's Parliament, speaking to us this morning about the state of Konfanoche Teaching Hospital and what he thinks of the problems associated with the facility. John, is many things have happened, just like we said. There have been a lot of statements. I don't know if you have any with you, but if you don't, I want to share. I've already indicated to you that as at Friday, we talked about the summons that was directed at the CEO of Konfanoche, that he was supposed to meet the minister at 12, I think on that day or so, or Thursday or something. Now, after which, then the ministry informed the people of this country that the CEO has been suspended for violating or disregarding a clear directive from the president. Now, when that happened, a lot of issues followed. One of such issues is that the medical doctors at CAF took a stance and they issued a statement to that effect, which statement said that they have declared strike because of the suspension of the CEO. Okay, now I want to read the statement by the statement that so there are two statements. There is the one from the doctors at CAF, okay, and also a statement from Ghana Medical Association, the mother body. So a lot of statements. I will share some with you so that we'll take our listeners through them together. So let me first share with you the statement that came through from the medical doctors at Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. And maybe you will find the one that GMA issued. And there are a lot of statements. I don't think we can read everything, but we'll just try and briefly touch on some of them, and then we'll make progress. It's 25 minutes after 8. This is still the Orange Sunrise here on Orange 107.9. And yet still this morning, we are still at Komfanochi Teaching Hospital because a lot of issues are coming from that facility. Now, the statement by Komfanochi Doctors Association, KADA, says notice of industrial action. At an emergency meeting of the Komfanochi Doctors Association held on 5th June 2026, recent events in the health space involving the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital were evaluated. There was intense deliberation on the unprecedented congestion within the emergency department and the resultant measures instituted by hospital management to ensure the continued delivery of safe patient care. Members expressed profound concern that actions undertaken by management aimed at addressing serious patient care challenges and ensuring patient and caregiver safety have rather resulted in disciplinary actions or disciplinary sanctions against the chief executive officer. They were unanimous that the decision by management to temporarily halt new emergency admissions and coordinate with surrounding health facilities was an important clinical and administrative intervention intended to prevent avoidable loss of life and preserve patient safety in the face of severe capacity constraints. The meeting further noted that Komfanochi Teaching Hospital serves as the principal tertiary referral hospital for the middle and northern sectors of Ghana and continues to operate under significant infrastructural limitations despite an ever-increasing patient load. The current situation reflects long-standing systemic challenges that require urgent policy and infrastructure solutions rather than punitive action against healthcare leaders attempting to manage the consequences. The meeting also unanimously condemned the minister's action in suspending the chief executive officer under the prevailing circumstances, describing the decision as unjustified and counterproductive to efforts to address the underlying systemic challenges confronting the hospital. The meeting therefore unanimously adopted following resolutions. 1. To commence a total withdrawal of services by medical doctors of Komfo Teaching Hospital effective 6 a.m. on Saturday, 6th June 2026. 2. Continuation of the industrial action until A. The suspension of the chief executive officer is reviewed and reversed. B. The board issues clear policies regarding the management of situations where the emergency capacity of the hospital has been exceeded. This should include explicit guidance on patient overflow and circumstances under which admission may be restricted in the interest of patient safety. And C. The Ministry of Health provides clear timelines for the operationalization of Sewa Hospital and Afari Military Hospital, as well as timelines for the retooling of Kath and other hospitals within the Ashanti region to ease the burden. 3. To engage the public and relevant stakeholders through appropriate media channels to highlight the challenges confronting Kath, particularly the chronic mismatch between patient demand and available infrastructure and resources within the Ashanti regional and the country, within the Ashanti region and the country at large. So these are some of the key things that the doctors are demanding for.
Now, I also have the statement by the Ghana Medical Association. So I think I will take you through that, and then after that we can deliberate on the issues that have come up since the CEO had his meeting with the Ministry of Health. So this statement is titled Statement on the Directive by the Minister of Health to Suspend the Chief Executive Officer of Komfo Teaching Hospital. And it reads, the National Executive Council of the Ghana Medical Association, having taken notice of a letter signed by the Minister of Health dated 5th June 2026, directing the board of the Komfo Teaching Hospital to suspend the Chief Executive Officer, has deliberated on the directive and related matters in the emergency meeting held on Saturday, June 6th, 2026. The council states as follows. The actions taken by the management of Komfo Teaching Hospital was the right and proper professional and administrative decision in line with the best practice in patient safety and responsible healthcare leadership across the world. The actions taken did not turn away patients to their fate or flout the President's directive, but rather redirected patients and ensured they received safe and timely care at nearby hospitals with support from specialists from Kath. The decision, with the coordinated efforts of the Regional Health Directorate, Regional Coordinating Council, health facilities and hard-working health workers in the region, led to a significant decongestion of the Accident and Emergency Center and a resumption of new admission to the Kath emergency within 24 hours. Council, therefore, is of the considered view that the initial query issued and subsequent directive for suspension were without basis and ought not to have been occasioned. We therefore call for an immediate withdrawal of the directive to the board of Komfo Teaching Hospital to suspend the CEO and for his immediate reinstatement within the next 3 working days. The National Executive Council fully supports and stands by the Komfo Confanoche Doctors Association decision to stand down services until suspension is withdrawn and necessary measures are put in place to improve emergency capacity in Kumasi Enclave. We also have taken notice of ongoing engagements by Confanoche Teaching Hospital Board with the leadership of Confanoche the Doctors Association towards resolving the impasse. And so that's...
In terms of reaction, the group or the institution I was looking, I was trying to find their name, was National Labour Commission. They have declared a strike as illegal. But before that, in the context of reaction, the Ministry of Health has also issued a statement. That's why I've said to you that this morning you have a lot of statements. Now, on this same matter, it is titled, Ministry of Health finds the 10 of events at Confanoche Teaching Hospital unfortunate. 1. The Ministry of Health finds the 10 of events at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital unfortunate, where members of the Confanoche Doctors Association and Nurses Chapter there have embarked on a strike action following an administrative decision taken against the Chief Executive Officer, CEO Dr. Pakwesi Bedu of the hospital for non-compliance with established administrative procedure relating to the closure of a public health facility. The decision to suspend the CEO of CAF, and they added, who is an appointee of His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, was carefully considered and taken in the interest of institutional accountability, patient safety, and the need to uphold administrative discipline within the health sector. 3. It is important to place on record that the suspension arose from the public announcement of cessation of admission into the accident and emergency unit, which is inconsistent with the directive of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana regarding access to emergency healthcare services. 4. For the avoidance of doubt, this has nothing to do with the internal arrangements agreed between the hospital and the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate. Further, he was suspended from the administrative head of the hospital and not as a medical officer of the hospital. 5. It will be recalled that during the State of the Nation address, His Excellency directed all public health facilities to ensure that patients seeking emergency care receive the necessary attention and are not turned away under any circumstances. 6. The ministry is concerned that this directive was disregarded when the Chief Executive Officer announced the closure of the Accident and Emergency Center of CAF without prior authorization from the CAF board and the Ministry for Health. It's a very long statement, so let me end on number 7. The suspension of the CEO is therefore an administrative measure intended to facilitate an independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding the closure and provide remedies going forward. So these are the points. There are a lot of them, but of course we can't exhaust everything.
But then I hear engagement between the regional minister and the nurses and doctors of Confanoche Teaching Hospital has led to the calling off of their intended strike.
I've not seen a statement calling off the strike.
We have not seen that yet, but the minister said,
it is the minister that said it will be resolved.
Yeah.
You have to look at the statement very clearly. Because the very people who issued the statement declaring strike, they know what to do if they call off the strike.
Yeah.
So we need to wait for.
As it stands now,
So you can't
we are waiting for
rely on
communication so that
yes,
we can.
because the minister too didn't say the strike has been called off. He said the issues have been resolved. What
Now-
issues? Is it the issues of lack of capacity? Is it the issue of
Congestion.
juma? Is it the so yes? Now we have about this morning. Let's use maybe just 5 minutes to just analyze or summarize everything, and then invite the thoughts of our friends. You've heard from.
Statements. So now the first thing I want to point out was from the last statement that you read, that to the people who think the sole reason for what happened at CAT last week was political motives of the CEO or something. The statement you read pointed out that this person in question is an appointee of this administration. So first of all, if anything, his political motives should be intended to help the government of the day because he is an appointee
That's your interpretation
of the NDC.
Okay.
Now, secondly, I am very sure that, this was a calculated move, which was from the statement that I read, that first of all, when they announced this measure, they did not just leave people who would come to the hospital to their fate, that we can't do anything, so if you want to die. They referred them to nearby hospitals, and the intention was that specialists from Konfanochi would move to those hospitals and assist because they did not have the space.
But as for them, the space is not there.
Yeah, they don't have the space to admit more people. And so they put in measures in place to sort of
Manage the
situation that they had last week. And so, first of all, if it's a directive from the president, anyone who works under the president knows that there are consequences for flouting
Clear
directives from the president. But I also want to say, as I said last week, that I feel that the action that the CEO took was sort of calculated because the issue of congestion did not start today.
Yeah.
So you need to do something that would, I don't know if I should say, encourage positive response to the situation that we have, because it's not enough for us to be receiving promises every now and then.
We've been receiving it.
We are still receiving it.
And it's going to continue.
So I think sometimes some of these things, drastic measures are taken to shake up leaders, that the situation is that bad.
And for me, just like I argued the last time, you can look at the form and you can look at the substance. If you look at the statement that was issued by the ministry, they said something, and I want to reiterate it. Number 3, it says it is important to place on record that the suspension arose from the public announcement of cessation of admission into the accident and emergency unit, which is inconsistent with the directive of His Excellency the President. My interpretation of this is they could have done it without announcement, and it wouldn't be a problem.
No, but they had to announce.
No, I'm saying that public announcement. You could come and they will tell you that, Yenjo, they have announced to you, but it's not a public announcement. So you will have to go back.
Which is
my deducement or construction of this point is that they could have turned away patients
and it wouldn't have been
without publicly announcing so. And if they had done that, it wouldn't have caused the sanction or suspension of the CEO.
Which organization wrote this?
That's the health ministry.
Okay.
So that's my interpretation. So they are trying to tell you that, the thing, you could have managed it internally so that when Janice come with a patient, tell her that, I am a intimate. So go to this. We have collaborated with this so that if they need our whatever, we will come and help. But then the mere fact that you've announced it is what we think is a problem. That's why I'm saying that they are looking at the form instead of the substance. Now, the substance of the other alternative will still meant that patients will be turned away, isn't that? Isn't that so? So if you are rather interested in the healthcare of the patient, you should be interested in the underlying problem. For which reason doctors, whether publicly or privately, could inform people that we can't take other patients anymore.
But I think one thing that I can conclude as a priority to this administration is
it's the
image,
brand.
that's
the thing.
That is more.
And for a lot of their
important.
supporters, that's what they are more interested. So when you go and post this on Facebook, you say, it's like the CEO has made their party look bad. Do you know how many people have died because of your inability to do the needful of completing the hospitals? Who cares about your image? Who are you? So that when your image is tainted, do you know how many lives have been killed?
Now, I think about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when the road minister was also inspecting the roads, and then he realized that some contractors were not doing the work as they had planned or they had promised to do the work. He made a similar statement that, you can't be doing this because you can't be tarnishing the image of the government and President John Dramani Mahama. And one journalist pointed out that is true, but then we should also be minded that people are also using the same.
That should be your most important issue. Why are you much more interested in your image and how your party will look, and you're not interested in how the lives of the people will look? So, based on your statement number 3, you said it is the announcement that you have issues with. It's the public announcement. So if people had gone there and they have been told that, oh, Munko, you wouldn't have had a problem with it because that is not public. So that will not stay in the image of your political party. So what you're looking for in this crisis situation is image protection, not protection of lives. So that's why you're dilly-dallying with the critical issue. The underlying issue, folks, is complete sewa. Complete affair. At least, even if you will not solve the problem entirely, you will reduce the pressure to some extent. Why is it that after everything that has happened, the focus has not been placed on the underlying issue? Like they are trying so hard to let us miss that point. Even though that is what occasioned all of these. If Convanoche had capacity, they wouldn't, enter into. Yes, they wouldn't make some of these arrangements. So why is the ministry not telling us, as a ministry, we've looked at so in the next 2 months, we are going to complete what we are going to complete. That is the expectation of the people. Not this image protection and what have you, and why didn't diplomatic, why didn't you call who, why didn't you come? What is this? So your image is important than the life of the people? 46 minutes after 8. Let's pick the thoughts of our friends. Call us on 0541 022 318. 0541 022 318 is the number to call us on and have your views heard on this particular matter. Let's speak to the first caller here. Good morning. Hello? Yes. Mr. Badu, talk to me.
Very well. I dislike people who say that we shouldn't do politics. No, let us not do politics. No, they themselves are doing politics about it. And again, the NPP people should give us a break. Especially the NPP MPs in Ashkelon. Should give us a break. They were in trouble for 8 years. It is only one hospital that was completed and operational. Now, and that is how Gabriel can happen. We need to speak against both NPP MPs and the however, of course, you also know that Mama can do. They tell you completely that our health minister, Mr. Kando, got everything wrong as they happening at the Community Emergency Section. He said that the government, the president directive was that nobody can away about it. But did anybody take away at the emergency section on that very day? Now, my information tells me that people were being treated, were received. So he got it wrong in this regard. And I also respectfully disagree with the decision of him to suspend the CEO. Because, you see, summoning him, I don't have any problem with summoning him because that would rather give an opportunity to calculate the CEO to get a peculiar evidence. Listen, those who are being treated on the floor, those who are being treated in the chairs, that's an opportunity. So if the health minister telling them that actually they don't really, and it was still not so, acceptable to the health minister, he got it wrong. You see, the decision of the doctors also, to me, is wronger for them to go on strike because in this case, you are punishing the patients unnecessarily. The patients who do not have anything wrong with it. But currently, my information tells me that because I spoke with some of the doctors have said that they are still accompanied seeing, patients. So it's not that they are not seeing any patients at this moment at all. And the board, you see, the point that the minister said that the board should see to it that the suspension has gone through. The board should, at this moment, please inform the minister, the health minister account of that. Look, your decision of suspending accuracy can never be upheld. And you should rescind that decision. Failure to rescind and retract that decision will have a direct consequence of health delivery at financial. And so they should advise the health minister to rescind the decision. Let me tell you what. Accuracy will be the most excited person to see Syria, Syria Hospital, and military hospital completed in operational. They will be so excited. The doctors are there, they will be so excited. I could do only as my method. Look, the regional minister, the regional chairman, every independent in this association region will be very happy and so excited to see actually military hospital and community and Syria Hospital completed in operation. Will be so happy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Badu, this morning, for joining us this morning with your opinion on the issue. Good morning. Yes.
By the time I give you the same time, I think Mr. Badu, you should give us a break. And your MPP Ghana Basu, Ghana, and this woman almost 40 years. Check all the developer with a Babuda Bassman. Moka say, market. Put a market down on. Now, ever. Woman, all some conformity a doctors, no. Almost more restricted than that. See, more beyond Koduma. Let's only say that I can't walk of our kids. I'm a baby hospital. More okay, president of buying a hospital bed where OBR and it's a pressure and you're going to tell you be away. I also be a footman in because I also my body, the heavy carry from what it like. I saw more can all of them in Taka, only on a second first. Kind of number by a year or by a press conference after the year. After what the side not catch a Ghana for, and a commodity for. I don't go was no more time to buy. I saw buy or then I want to buy a Sayana. Or I saw almost what I can't be. Here comes somebody who may cut. Sana lad who cut a wood to me because I was in a memo of Fungasa. Or you got a father, some judge, better or D. I say, who shot them or by all who cut a crowd network again. Oh, when we come to well, first already. More imagine here to say, I didn't hear Ghana for. Some are propaganda with the about. We just got your course at the summer. Oh, no more, no man, you go from Namunaduma. So, now we know you made him. I didn't know to make a day. I didn't yet, but I didn't say. I didn't imagine I'm president after the news. You are there, and Mr. Kokobi and Mr. Kokobi. Kokobi also tell you, Mr. Woman, hospital is one I'm missing to me. Woman,
thank you very much, Mr. for joining us this morning. You can also call me on 0541 022318. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Alfa.
Yes. It's you.
Alfa, the American say, And I pay more program we in the past because last week in the market in Anka. I see politics free but more Mama Pama and then the politics because Mr. Kwedu, Honorable Kwedu Asemo Bakaye, and last Friday, Honorable Actor Asemo Kaya, Yami Yase MPP, yet two about more Ghana because Honorable last Friday, Honorable Marshal Bobo Hospital there 10 to 13 of Somalia and Santa region. Other than that, that's base travel bed and for from. If you move Jaya Felly, a Jai is a wa, a sea, a disease swami hospital, so we did today, or my and Santa region. And your Monco can't take up for months Sunday for emergency. If I saw bed and I want those sorts of things. I said, this kind of quality, and it's a work quite completely. I'm not going to turn. Mine just had your money now. We know that it's about radio swap. No more back can someone set up a hospital men my Santa Regina. Until I don't know, that's what this problem. We have Mr. Kwazu to do as I'm walking. Say, young country finance minister announces such camera to see a no man for 1 month. 8 years. 8 years old. I didn't know to me this guy as a Muku Secretary. Up to now, I wicked, I play wicked, I'm a Santa Regina. And no more audacity by radio swap. In some of the catching, Alpha, Mumma or Mokaya. Now, I think in the question your policy because you can have one son MPP NBC the back. But so almost have full power the kickers in the and some of doctors yaking, and not discuss it. Now, can you question because you could move Bamukura, Bakabi. Now, a tiny identity into politics. And this for the make catch on the say. So, what near Felly? A couldn't be a source of more yard, for so not a cast. Pressure the bathroom. Omo faso no munye. Omo nya politics I wo omo we mu na ye nyina ye be wu. Ye nyina ye be wu say politics ye be di akira. Ye nyina ye be wu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brian, for joining us this morning with your submission. You can also call me on 0541022318 and let me know what you think. Good morning.
Good morning, Alpha. This is Dr. Bills.
Dr. Bills, talk to me, sir.
So, I've been following. I think you even posted something. I went to comment. You see, this issue, I have three main issues with it. The first one starts with a CEO. So, as a CEO, you are the political head of the institution. All other people are technocrats or professionals in terms of their role. So you bring the balance between the professional and then the societal or political angle of management. So if there is a problem, you are the person who is supposed to calm the problem, give assurances, and find solutions. But for you to have come out to state that you cannot take emergency issues, instead of our emergency is getting overcrowded. Therefore, we have identified hospital A, B, C, D, E, F as places that when you have emergency situations, we rather direct you to go, whilst we let our specialists come over to help them help all the patients. We said the same thing, but one gives assurance, one demoralizes people. And as a leader, you should always make sure that your actions are assurance-based, even when there's negativity around it. That is what you do as a leader. So Orange FM didn't play, Alpha Ali show didn't play. Then I call Alpha. Alpha, why did the more has switched off our life? Because the more said that no. Alpha, why? Oh, there were some technical issues that we are trying to address, and we have some meetings with them more. We want to address it. So hopefully tomorrow we'll come back on air. You said the same thing, but in a different way. And that's what leaders do. Secondly, the minister. I feel the minister is a bit too fiery. The fire is a bit too much. The fire to impress and do his work. Sometimes you have to slow down. This suspension, it wasn't necessary. You could have called the CEO to the office in Accra and given it to him with auto, and then he comes back to do his work. But to suspend him, it's an image denting thing. How does he go back to the role that he was, which he was suspended? The people that worked under him, how would they even see him now? It was totally wrong.
And thirdly, our over-pampered doctors. You have no business to go on strike because an appointee or an employee and his employer has an issue. It has nothing to do with you. You are paid to do a work. Go and do your work. Management issues, you leave it to management to deal with. So one day will be there and the police will say they are going on strike because a government has changed an IGP. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Bills, thank you very much for joining us this morning with your submission. You can also join us. 0541 022318 is the number. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Please, your name?
My name is Opana.
Opana, can you lower the volume of your radio for me a bit?
Okay. Please,
and speak a bit louder for me, I beg you.
Okay. Please, the controversial issue. I think the decision taken by the doctors is not wrong. But then, if they handle it in a way that I'm very sure that this is not the very first time they are telling somebody that facility just cannot accommodate them. When it is occupied, it is occupied. So why the public announcement? So now, if they discharge somebody over there and there is space, would they come to public and announce again that there is vacancy? No. If the place is full, you cannot carry the person into your house. So they could have managed this thing, and they will be pressing the ministry to do something about affair. But the public announcement, you see, so right now, so if there is a vacant, because definitely if you are treating somebody, the person will not be there forever. You will discharge somebody. So if there is a space, will you come again and inform the public that there is a space, they should bring somebody? They could have handled this one technically. You see, but when he is speaking big English, this one do this, one do this, what will it bring?
Thank you. Hopefully it will bring a resolution. But thank you very much for joining us this morning with your submission. The number is 0541 022318. You can either call me or give me a text. Good morning.
Good morning, Henry Yanko Ponsu Gang.
Pacho, what did you say?
Indiana small folk of Mandela, Makata Mazato Korampo.
Okay, Mandela with you.
That's it, this year. They didn't come and say, I mean, I don't for what's Korampo, waiting for my Sabi, and the Kundupunia for their name. We find him with my Yaka, Mubarak, Wayabi, we don't go for one star. Now, Kabi also yet is also, and they say, it's here in Adaroma, and it's baby. Yakwaya Hodwo, it's a Hodwo, with their name of Philippi, and we give them MP. We don't go for Shira, and yes, the man. They won't be a kaya who frees a Korampo. That was a by junction. When I say, I say, so to you never been fat. Now that was my could see baby. One cross for a couple 1,000 kilometers, about 1,000 meters. One for me, my age. But you're talking to me, I'm so. Apomodia somebody and Kenya or some Miss Ramo. You know, the Papa, you need a cobble, you need to Tumuja, you know, Moja or Cobaco pet. It's a young Ponso media or Dodian Tiasia or my grandma Bacopania. You to clear one of your way and one. Many of 4 months that I am mine. Now, South Africa for so you will see you. And for my grandma, you need the post for more day. I said that for more day, so maybe now should be. I say, I'm possibly young one. May I say. Well, he was one for Mandela. Now, this is the idea of the Malay, Muntaka Muhammad. So that our Mama boy, Sakwan, fitness with gas one, ecosystem of Bajan. Now, so Croman Point, you was Croman perspective boom. On top of your financial now should be. Make sure you're right, even Squabraman. There will be a young people trading for one.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, it's 2 minutes after 9. Good morning. Yes, your name and where you're calling me from?
ABN.
Talk to me, sir.
Yeah. Alpha, we'll go to the health issue, so I come for nothing. If you Ghanaians, you always say, and will be a bonnet, you're fire, will be a sanction, will be see. Now the health minister has sanctioned, and look at the comments people are making. That is obvious. Say a man for Becca Saturday, but at least it will put other minds in shape. Next, we have to be problem-solving leaders. So if the leader is crying more than they breathe, it means who is going to help or offer solutions? But at least the remaining hospitals, by the close of this year, Afari and Sewia will come to life, and this pressure on Confanochi will also be minimized, so that there wouldn't be much stress and discomfort at the various health facilities. Yemwa, as you train the ne council no or China no panyi kasa, even to be kasa na abuama asunjwe aba. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aban, for joining us this morning. Evangelist Richard Pra is a member of the NDC, former PC4 in Shayosu constituency for NDC, former vice chairman for NDC in the Shayosu constituency. Currently, he represents SNIT CEO on the Simnet board, and he's also a member of the Almighty Gold Board. Let me talk to Ija. He's our senior citizen. If I don't allow you, there will be issues. Good morning, Ija.
Good morning, Alfa.
Yes, talk to me, sir.
Thank you very much. Alfa, you see, nyoma nyina ekosuin, babalu nyina. Health careful. Oh, say, aban bia se bibi ko ya udi ne ebo. Eko wronga udi ne ebo. Nti aban o hwi. And the CEO no so asking no tiki yen. For me, it's yes and no. First, nipa no patients no be ba. Flow of emergency no be ba. Name to turn them away no. And no bet me a cause loss of life. Because you didn't have a cow. Near Sa, I will let you go. Ebia, one no baby or the corner. Then you can. So, and you know, announcement no, is to alert the people. Said you pay a nipan emergency niba. Wouldn't you say why am I? Into own now ground found for no, I find the alternative precon as save life or not. And secondly, no, as I say, every person. Yeah, we are employed. You are accountable to someone ahead of you. So, you know, we only quite a BBC, who would you pay a benanso? Alpha, who you on me? So, program manager. Maybe I will program here a world team. Yeah, we can say a yepa. Nelson, one team for pet and for program room. About more program manager man here. And you know, and also Nanka was who penny for no answer. Now, a doctor, one strike on a woman, and answer they are still waiting. So, almost started.
Almost I say Saturday based on announcement in the day. Saturday in Chelsea.
Alpha, please.
Before you mark us and I think a trains or mobile because like.
Yeah, they should stop immediately. We beg them. They should not do something that people will tag them as murderers. So, yes, as like now, they'll be called as murderers. Because you can't change the life of one CEO for the lives of thousands of people to die because of your strike. So, and doctors and so on, they shouldn't see themselves as immune to prosecution or immune to sanctions. So, you know, Obia, everybody. Ghana and Trananka president, baby, they impeach them. And yes, so, Woman said, they haven't met their demand, so people should die. They should stop, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ija, for joining us this morning. Yakwenu sent me a message. He says that this is Yakwenu from Menchia South. The Chief Executive Officer of Confanochi Teaching Hospital deserves to be relieved of his position if there's credible evidence that his leadership has contributed to administrative inefficiencies, poor staff relations, decline in service delivery, or decisions that undermine the hospital's mandate. Public institutions require accountable leadership, and when management actions consistently create dissatisfaction among healthcare workers, affect patient care, or erode public confidence, authorities may need to consider a change in leadership to restore trust, stability, and effective healthcare delivery. Greetings to lawyer Sami Jemfi and his PA Perry. Okay. Good morning. There's another friend of Sami Jemfi in the studio. I'm sure you two will greet him. Evangelist, good morning.
Good morning, Alfa.
How are you doing?
By the special grace of the Almighty Allah.
Yes. You're looking good in your kaftan. Political outfit.
I heard of yours when I was at Durban. I was at work. When I heard that you were looking good, and you were in suit, and you asked, then the lady as well, you also complimented her. So I had to rush home and go and dress for
to meet the standard.
To come and meet you. So I'm unable
to represent the political class. Thank you.
I'm unable to match
you
up.
You have overmatched up.
Okay. This morning, special good morning to everybody that has tuned in to Ultimate. Did I say Ultimate? Orange.
It's a sackable offense.
Orange.
This one is a punishable offense.
I have to be called by
you have to be summoned and be queried and be suspended for 2 weeks.
Yes. Orange 107.9. Kumasi's music leader. This morning I want us to do 1 Corinthians 6 verse 12. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be dominated by anything. So what is Paul saying here? Permissible or beneficial? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. You have the right, but is it wise? Does it help you? Example, you are allowed to eat junk food every day, but it's not profitable for your health. The next one, permissible, edifying. Some things tear down instead of build up. And Paul said, all things are lawful, but not all things build up. That's 1 Corinthians 10:23. So, don't be mastered. I will not be dominated by anything. As Paul said, freedom isn't being controlled by your appetite. If a habit owns you, you are not free. So, this scripture will sum up most of the things that already has been said by you and Janice, and then your callers, and what I'm also about to say. I'm always going to be reminded by this scripture. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's get into the issue.
Let's get into the issues.
Let's start from home.
You've given 3 issues. Which one are we starting with? I'm prepared for
the one that relates to us here.
The health aspect.
Yeah, go for not.
Yes. I understand everybody. I understand your point, all the points you made. I understand the callers, all of them. I have this principle. I'm a politician. But I'm also coming from a place. I carry a title on me. Evangelist. Most of the time people have asked, are you a political evangelist or a true evangelist of the gospel?
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh. And I've also been asked, how do I mix the two? Because people think you cannot be truthful, you cannot be honest when it comes to politics. People have even said that politics is a dirty game. But I will always remind them that politics is not dirty. It's because when clean people step aside and allow some dirty people into the space, becomes dirty. But when there are more clean people, more honest people, more diligent people in that space of politics, politics will be clean. So some of us, it's a calling. I don't expect you to understand because you are not the one who called me or you are not the called. I've listened carefully to all the statements. I got shocked when my brother, Honorable Akwasi Kunedu, it's been a while. I was doing this communication business with him. 2020, where all PCC had the opportunity to go. I'm happy for him. Whilst they are 8 years, he had some few months to be a deputy minister. And after which we met, I commended him and all that. But I got so disappointed in his commentary. So hypocritical. Very hypocritical. He was speaking as if they've not been in power before. We gave you 8 years. He was shouting and touting that we should go and open Afari. We should go, by end of this month, we should open them up. They had 8 years. If he is not a hypocrite, was he able to ask Nanadu to open them? He is talking about nurses being at home, doctors being at home. In their 8 miserable years that they led this country in, were nurses not at home? Were doctors not at home? I hate this hypocrisy. I hate it. Everybody must shun it. He was speaking as if he just came from space. When Nanadu came, there were many hospitals that were not completed. Ghanaians told them to complete them. For 8 years, Akwasi Kunedu, as an MP of from Menchia, where we have the palace, what is his achievement there?
I think the palace is at Menchia South.
When we say Menchia, whether south or north, it's Menchia. No, when you get there, that you separate them.
The palace is within south. It's a south constituency.
Okay.
To be.
So to you, traditionally, Menchia is divided, or you are talking about political division?
I'm talking about political.
You should first ask me before you make that conclusion.
Why? Why should I?
My brother. So, with the NPP and their hypocrisy, they should spare Ghanaians. They should spare us.
Something the patients are not interested in this political.
Absolutely, that's where I'm driving to.
It's you are now in charge, so the expectation is that you would deliver.
Absolutely, the Ghanaian who voted on the 7th of December 2024 and gave the MPP miserable 38.2 and gave the NDC an overwhelming nearly 57%. They know why. Because NDC has been in power before. NPP had also been in power before. They weighed the two. And they settled on the NDC. So the NPP should cut their hypocrisy. They are the least people I want to hear. Ashanti region, in their 8 years, how many hospitals did they, even the ones they came to meet, were they able to complete?
They completed Siwa.
They completed who? Sewa. So there are doctors and nurses in Sewa.
It's left with
what?
Operationalization.
So if you are telling me something is completed, what is left?
The physical structure has been completed.
You think hospital is just the physical structure?
You are left with, getting in medical experts, getting in the administrative system to be.
Do you know what makes a hospital?
So that they start.
Do you know what makes a hospital?
So that's what is left, and you guys have deliberately delayed.
You see, that. When COVID struck in Italy, many were treated outside, open space, and they were recovered. Yes, some passed. But the one who was treated outside football pitches and all that with tents. What do you call that facility? So hospital is not just brick and mortar. There's a lot that goes into it. Now let's go into it. I've made it clear the MPP should be the last group of people to be talking about this issue.
Why?
Let me tell you why.
Weren't you guys
even when I've said so much, you still ask why. I'll tell you why.
I want reasons.
These are the reasons.
Okay.
My brother, Komfo is a referral hospital catering for nearly 14 regions, and it even extends to Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina, and Mali. They come here for healthcare. Komfo is overwhelmed. This week, the very day that the statement came out, I've been there. I went there early. I got there around 5:30. Sat, yes, for a while because visitors are allowed in from between 6 and 7 in the morning. Once I parked at the car park of the emergency unit, I saw so many things. Ambulances coming in, people being moved on structures and moved in. I heard sounds, people crying, wailing, weeping, meaning they've lost people. So it's a second by second thing. If you spend 10 minutes at Komfo, somebody is being discharged, somebody is coming in, somebody is passing out. I mean, some are collapsing, some are dying. It's a normal occurrence at Komfo. Komfo is overwhelmed. So what really happened? Every day, there are times during certain hours, the emergency unit, let me commend President Kufuor. He has written his name in gold when it comes to Komfo and governments come in and what they add onto it. He constructed the emergency unit. Beautiful edifice. I saw it when it was open. I go there still, I see great difference. That place, I learned is supposed to, at full capacity, supposed to take 34 patients, full capacity. Anything extra is putting pressure or stress on the system there. So I know days that they may have less than that 34. I know days
usually it's more.
They will have 37. Looking at the numbers, they can add to it 3 extra or sometimes 4 extra.
That makes sense.
But when in one day, once you have the 37 covered, and then excess of about 30 something waiting outside, what do you do? What do you do? I think that when you look at the statement issued by the CEO, I think on second thought,
you shouldn't have done so.
He has worked there as a medical doctor, he was not brought from outside. He has been there all these years and knows the system. He has worked under more CEOs. I don't remember the last time I came across such a statement going out publicly. I don't remember. Maybe it happens from time to time, but
maybe they extended the acceptable limits.
Good.
Like it was.
That is the case.
It was.
That is the case. I'm talking about the statement that went out there.
It is to inform people that for you to now access us or access emergency care, this is the new protocol for now, for 24 hours, whilst we try to reduce the pressure.
Do you think that those who were rushed there saw the notice?
Some may have.
And that, if no Komfo were,
other hospitals may have capacity
Good.
for that.
So for many,
the time being.
many didn't know of that statement. They just heard it in the news. Let's talk about those who had their relative rushed there, even before knowing that they were not admitting the place was full. They didn't know. And we have so much facilities around us that today are not operational. I know there's an internal mechanism. If Komfanoche is a referral place, it means that before any hospital makes a referral to Komfanoche, there's a protocol that you need to call, communicate, and let them know there's space. Somebody of this condition is coming. In the next 20, 30 minutes, we should be ready receiving somebody.
Ideally,
that should be it.
but
No hospital will refer anybody to Komfanoche without going through this
there
process.
should be.
But when an accident occurs on the road and you are rushing somebody, do you make a call to Komfanoche that there has been an accident at a square traffic light and I'm bringing
if you are lucky, if you are lucky and you are being conveyed by an ambulance, they can make such calls, perhaps.
That is the duty. That is when you call in an ambulance.
Yes.
But
If
let us
it
ask
is
ourselves.
like normal V, I doubt.
Yes, let us ask ourselves. Go to Komfanoche, spend just 30 minutes. Those
There
who
are
are being
lots of-
rushed in, how many are in ambulances?
You're right, ambulances are.
So all this have to be considered. For me, I feel the statement should not have come out.
Why?
I've given the reason.
Because
The perception. Now, from the statement from the Ministry of Health, from the top, there's a clear violation
of
the president's directive. What does it make you? If before you were given that job, the president gave you certain directives, why do you go against it?
The Ghana Medical Association said what was done was the needed intervention to
Good.
save lives.
For the medical...
So it's they too are also concerned about to what extent
Absolutely.
the absence of this will affect
Absolutely.
the lives of people.
I told you from the onset that
So
I understand
perhaps the
all
CEO
of
was between
the rock and
how do you even call it? Hard something.
Yes.
So he needed
I understand all of them.
to pick a stand.
From the Ghana Medical Association and all that. I understand them. I appreciate their point very much. But
to be honest with you, Evangelist, cath emergency unit, I've been there on a number of. It's terrible. No, something must be done. I'm telling you, the situation of people when you go there, it's not the best. I'm telling you, you see people. In fact, people bleeding, and there's no space for them. Some of them are lying on the floor, and the space is almost choked. Oh, I think as a people we need to really.
I understand the GJ. They are the professionals. They are in it, but the moment you become a government appointee, you work under someone.
At this point, he wore his medical hat instead of his
You swear an oath and all that. So uneasy will always lie the head that wears the crown. So for the health minister's call, people are saying, yes, you called him, reprimand him in secret. Let him come. Maybe he would have issued another statement.
To be fair, the statement they issued was to the effect that it's going to be closed for 24 hours.
Yes.
For them to be able to manage the place so that the next day, then the status quo will now start. So they didn't say we are closed indefinitely for 24 hours. And then they provided the measures that they are going to take within that 24 hours. So that the expectation is that by the next day, the situation would have calmed down, and then they will be able to continue with their normal kind of operations. That was what was contained in this thing.
Absolutely. But you see, you and I are not God. You don't know whether or not after 24 hours there will be space. Yes, you can have that assurance that at this time we are discharging this person or moving this person from the emergency to the ward. We are moving this number of people to the ward. Some space will be catered for, but it should be an internal arrangement. Whilst those who are coming in and cannot have space, take it upon yourself, make calls, reach out to other nearby facilities. Do you understand? It's an arrangement. Let them try and manage the situation.
What do you say to those who say the effect will be the same, in the sense that if there's no space and you choose not to communicate it, when I go there, same communication will be given to me personally. So whatever the government is seeking to protect by issuing the directive that patients should not be turned away, in substance, will be done.
You see, there's no way any government that means well will give a directive that if the numbers you cannot cope for them, send them away. That will be so wrong. I cannot even dream that the NDC, a government, can do this.
So the argument by some,
it should be an internal thing. The reason why you are in charge for these 2 weeks that he is being suspended, do you think Komfanochi will be closed down? There are people working. You are only
people will be
more like an administrator. So how you vary your administratorship system or method that makes you stand out?
Evangelist, what we are looking at is that any directive has a goal or objective. The directive by the government is to ensure that people are given care. Okay. Now, if that is the case, and you say, and in the statement of the ministry, they point out that it is the announcement.
Good.
That is the problem.
Good.
Now, if it is the announcement, the argument by some is that I can choose not to announce it publicly, but I may announce it privately to the person coming.
Yes.
That I have no space in us and to go elsewhere.
Yes.
If I do that, I have defeated the objective of the directive, which is not giving care to patients who need it. And so some argue that the underlying problem is what the government needs to be focusing on. So that if you try to solve the underlying problem, whether public announcement or private announcement will not be occasioned, for which reason people will be given the care they need. Absolutely. So let's not deal with the symptoms of the problem, but let's go to the root and tackle it. And they feel that government seems to be missing on that.
I understand you as well perfectly, and those who think like that. We cannot sit here and pretend that in the past, where we were not waking up to any statement from Komfanochi, everybody that had been there, all of them were admitted. My brother Beidou is not the first CEO. So, do you understand? So, the thing that went out, the ministry has made it clear. You have been given orders to work. The health system does not work in isolation when it comes to even Komfanochi. There's nothing wrong, Komfanochi, referring somebody to a nearby hospital or facility to manage a certain situation that they may think is not an emergency. There's one problem with us too. You go to Komfanochi, not just the emergency side. People with running stomach are rushing to Komfanochi. People with fever are rushing to Komfanochi. The least in Komfanochi. So there are a lot of cases at Komfanochi that are supposed to be catered by other facilities. We need to be looking at that and be educating people about that. And then the facilities that are now some nearing completion and all that, as fast as possible.
Why do you think the
let's
government has
open them
delayed
up?
Because the president made the very categorical promise to us. You recall
Yes,
when he came,
that no project must be left in the bush.
and he, in fact, he mentioned that he
Yes.
knows that there is congestion at Kath.
Yes.
And so to deal with that congestion, they will have to fix this. So people are wondering why.
Yes,
what's the problem with
whatever-
these facilities that almost everybody is unable to complete?
Whatever the issue is, those who are following me on Facebook and all that, during the week, I made posts about 2 of them. I tagged the president, I tagged the minister, I tagged the regional minister and all that. People, even, yes, our brothers from the MPP, their usual politics, they came, but some came with positive information that Kumewu started working in 2023. So we are left with Aferi.
Yeah.
And so we are.
Some say there's also one at Ofurikrum.
Ofurikrum, that's
Yeah.
Agenda 111.
111 hospital.
So
If it
let's
is-
look at all the facilities. When it comes to the Agenda 111, I know the minister, one of his meet the press, made it clear that there's a lot that government have to put in to complete, or there are some they couldn't even get a land. So
Do anything about
those
it.
that are already at
a stage
certain
where-
stage
yeah.
where we need some few months
Investment,
to complete. He has said that by the end of the year, at least 30 throughout Ghana must be working. So I'm expecting that by end of the year, if Ashanti region, 2 or 3 of them, if Ofurikrum comes on,
And our friend Sewa.
we are talking about the Agenda 111.
You know what I mean? Too, I'm talking about the
And
ones
then
with the huge
also
capacity.
look at Sewia, which is a regional hospital, and then Aferi, which is
250, 500.
yes, which is a military hospital. Let's put the resources in. Ashanti region is big, and let's reduce the pressure on Komfanochi and keep the education running. That it's not everything that you should rush to Komfanochi. When you go, it's difficult for them to return you back. It puts pressure on them.
And CAF,
Let it be the original referral hospital.
CAF too needs retooling. Just like it was started under the former CEO.
Yes, when Otumfuo initiated
Heal Komfanochi.
Heal Komfanochi.
For that reason, I had thought that perhaps that CEO will have been given some, but you know,
You see,
it's normal.
you
with
are now entering into a place that is a bit slippery. When it comes to Komfanochi, there's so much politics in Komfanochi. NPP nurses, NPP, NDC nurses, NDC doctors, it is there.
It's
And
normal
then
with every
there's
institution
that
these days.
traditional aspect of it. That makes sometimes
Then let's move from
difficult.
let's move from
Let's
Kumasi
move.
and go to the flat capital.
Yes, let's
Unfortunately, we are dealing with our Komfanochi issues. They too. Oh, Charlie.
They are
cry.
also struggling with flood.
Cry is noisy. Oh, hey.
Yes.
Whilst they are dealing with that, some say, hey, NDC ministers, why are you holding an event to award yourselves? What is...
So,
They've
there are
been-
two extent. Which one do you want? The award?
No, we are talking about the award. We will come to the flag.
Okay.
The flag, I
Okay.
guess, is our
So let's
last
deal with
topic,
the
right?
awards.
So, some have even... I've seen Eric Agbena, is it?
Agbana.
Agbane's message.
Edem Agbana.
Edem Agbana. I've seen some people reacting to what's been happening. Some also say, oh, MPP for Muyepi. And you know, people like us who always ask the question. So the MPP is your standard. It means there's a Muslim coffee. Because the very things that they did which we complained, if that is what you want to do, just like Agbena ended with a statement, let's not defend what we criticized. Are you happy with this award scheme? The event and the timing and everything that happened?
Sitting before you, when it comes to awards, I I think I'm a very weird person. Not too long ago, 2024, I got a call from a group that said they've monitored me for a while, and their so and so award giving group, they want to organize an award. I've been nominated as a promising politician in the Ashanti region. In the Ashanti region. Then I asked them, what does it entail to, they went on. I said, okay, if they are ready, they should let me know. Then sometime later, I got a message from them that I need to support them financially. This is what I told them. You, according to you, have done your research, and I have been nominated. If I have something for you, I need to see the event. After the event, I promise you, when I see how the whole thing goes, if I have something, I'll give it to you. They didn't get back to me any longer. Then I saw some of my colleagues in Inshiasu.
Taking down.
I was there when it came on the platform. They have gone to take their awards. So what came to mind, for me, I won't celebrate you because I know what they went. They paid for it. I can mention their names.
In fact, even this
shamefully, they went and bought awards.
Don't mention their names. Even this one, there are people who are alleging.
It has come out. I've read a lot.
Is that Charlie? Yes. They asked him from 50. Is it 50 or something?
Yes.
And
this declined. Is it. This is it. Let us not kid ourselves. I've never been a fan of these awards and all. Yes, it must come to me as a surprise.
Some of the media that will send you that issue.
Voting. Yeah. You in the media.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
Anytime I'm approached, or you send me your flyer, and I read through it and it say voting. I will call you or send you a message and say, this is somebody's business. I don't believe in that.
That kind of system.
About a week ago, there was one. Yes. The gentleman, I'm very...
Media.
Yes, media.
Okay.
One gentleman sent me the flyer. I know the work the gentleman has been doing on it. Best. And I told him...
received a lot, but I mean, I'm not...
I told him straight that I don't believe in these awards. Yeah. It's somebody's business. Yeah. They are just organizing money. But since you are into it, if there's something I'll give you, not because of the award. You have a right to go and spend it on. And then weeks later, I went there and he won. But within me, I'm in the media. I know what everybody is doing. Yeah. So when it comes to these awards, I did a background check of the organizers. Ministers of State Awards or Ghana Ministers of State Excellence Honors.
They are smart.
The organizers. They know that. The awards are organized by Big Events Ghana. The Big Events Ghana is the same company behind Radio and Television Personality Awards, RTP. Africa Gospel Awards Festival, AgaFest, Africa CEO Honors and Summit. They have been running the award scheme for 15 years plus across Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya. For the Ministers of State Awards, they partner with Despite Media Group, Ghana Web, Angel Broadcasting Network, Africa Center for Excellence, EIB Network, Multimedia Group, and Media General. The CEO of the event is Prince Mackay. Now, History and Purpose. Launched, the maiden edition was held on Saturday, 15 May 2021 at Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, Accra. Concept: the GMOs, that's Government Ministers of State Excellence Honors, is an honorary scheme which recognizes and rewards current and former ministers who have distinguished themselves in the course of their duty. The rationale. Prince McKay said it was created because there was no institution recognizing ministers who served diligently. He wanted to change the narrative that ministers are always criticized and encourage them to give their best. The format strictly by invitation, that is where the thing is. Dress code, black tie and all that. 2 sessions, red carpet, 4 p.m. main event, 6 p.m. Hosted by Peace FM's Nana Yao Kese. And then notable honorees from 2021 edition. Professor Joshua Alabi, former Greater Accra, Dr. Kwame Adokufo, the brother of President Kufuor, former defense minister. Nana Kobia, former minister. Hakman Owusu Ajiman, also former foreign affairs. Catherine Able, Ma Afeku, and all that. Matthew Poku Prempe. And then Hannah Sewatete, Julius Debra, chief of staff, and then Aaron, Professor Aaron, it goes on and on. This week's own, this Saturday's own, those who also took part, the list is also there. So, people...
The best minister of state was Kishela Tufos.
Yes, finance minister. No,
best regional minister.
Let us understand this.
Oklu.
This is a private person's award. Those who received it, it is within their rights and in line with their personal principles. If they have worked hard.
I don't know if Kisel was there. Was he?
No.
I saw some large number of people. I didn't.
No.
See
Many
him.
of them were picked by people who represented them.
Okay, so it's like those people were his representative at the awards.
Yes.
Because I saw when his name was mentioned, they go into the.
Yes. So somebody from the finance ministry will go for it.
Okay.
They have their personal principles. If they feel they deserve it, this is a private person's thing, honoring them. They went for it. I don't begrudge them.
It's okay.
I don't begrudge them. If they think they've worked hard for it. And indeed, some of them, like Sir Ato Bafosin, doctor, hasn't he worked? He has worked. So if they think in the year under review, he stood out, many Ghanaians will agree. Many disagree to the fact that the Greater Accra Regional Minister should be the best regional minister.
So for her,
for me sitting before you,
Professor White issued a statement that the award scheme or the award organizers contacted him and sort of that's what he's alleging. Yes,
you know he is the SIGA CEO for SIGA.
Yeah, so I don't know if they needed collaboration with him and then he said they demanded for an amount and he declined.
Now,
and I am learning, I don't know, I will need to confirm that the MP has also kind of responded to say she knows that he is targeting something. So he's trying to.
You see?
Yeah. And so there's some. I'm coming before you come. Whilst we deal with the award, the other aspect you can also look at is like there is beginning to be some infighting between government appointees in your government. Eriko Poku had his own issue with Atofosin. Now you have SIGA boss with Linda Oklu. Do you think it's normal or perhaps something needs to be done too?
For me, I wouldn't say it's normal. But this is a human institution that we were not all raised in the same home. Even children, twins, they have issues. They have disagreements.
Your twins, they have issues, eh?
Oh, sure. They are human. They are human. The reason why they all have their own head on their necks means they are two different entities. So some of these things will certainly come up from time to time, but it's how you manage it. I'm happy when the Ministry of Agric and then the finance issue came. each of them, because the issue got into the public, each of them, the finance minister spoke in public, the agric ministry, their liaison officer, thought there was some inaccuracies.
It was the deputy finance minister, right? Who I think he had met some international.
Yes.
And it was so funny to the extent that when he mentioned an amount that they have released to the Ministry of Agric, so Eric Obuku was sitting there. So when the figure was made, he was like, so like he expressed shock that it's carrying on for somebody around me.
You see,
it's a very funny video. I don't know, like
there's been two statements from each side after that incident. The agric ministry have lined up monies that they have received. The finance ministry, I like the independent person that came in and said, this is how it works. The fact that you have been allocated some funds doesn't mean it will hit your account in a day or two. It goes through a process.
If it doesn't hit my account, I can't say I've received it.
Which all of them
if you say
must know.
The ministry has received, they have not received now.
Was the statement has received or has allocated?
No, it's not allocated. They said they have released.
Released, good.
Yes.
So if we have released something, does it mean you will not receive it or you have received it?
And as long as I've not received it,
it
means that I have not received it.
It's even good that it's put out there that we have released this. Those that you have not received yet, we are a government, one body. We are supposed to work as a team. After the meeting, you are not enemies. You ask and maybe they just cut them and put them. So for me, will we talk about? You are excited. You are excited. It's good for your health. Let me know when you are done. Let me know when you are done. It's good for your health. You go through too much stress. Release some.
No, Eric Obuku is a big man. Yeah. I'm sure Oya must have gyro.
Are you done?
We're having conversation. No. Continue.
No, I want to see you happy.
So I'm always happy.
That is the issue that came with the finance and they've resolved it, and that's how come the speech.
Some believe it has got to do with this presidential race.
Now
that everybody thinks somebody is Charlie. Somebody is doing something.
Your perception. For me, I understand the media have been starved of issues when it comes to NDC
really?
And government scandals and all
so
that.
We are happy.
Sitting right before you, if I tell you, give me 2 scandals since President Mahama came, you won't get even one. So I understand you are pushing, you are sniffing, you are digging and all that. Certainly that moment will come.
No media person forced Eric Obuku to do.
He was just stretching. That time will certainly come. Wait, be patient. Now, with regards to the Dr. Pesa White and Linda Oklu issue, and that's going on the social media, I think if Dr. Pesa White was approached for an award and the organizers demanded 50,000 cedis and he turned it down, it would not have been in the same category with the regional minister. Yet, the two of them, they went to the last primaries, the same constituency. So,
Linda Oklu was the wife of the former MP, right?
Yes.
So the MP died, and that's what Pesa White did. He has suffered.
Gone for the primaries for some time now. So that thing, to think that Pesa White is putting it out there because
it relates to Linda Oklu.
She has gone for
the
award, and for people to think that she paid for the award, and that is because of the primaries and all that. I think it's rather unfortunate. It doesn't meet. I don't see the connection here. Because if Professor White, according to what he's saying, is true, now the organizers must come out to say whether what he's saying is true or not. And then the link is not there. But nothing bars Professor White for the next, from contesting the next primaries. So, my honorable sister, Linda Okru, should calm down. She has won it. I congratulate her for sitting before you. I cannot say she bought it or paid for the award.
Won what? The award.
The
Best
award.
regional
Yes,
minister.
best regional. I cannot sit here and say
I think Kumasi
she
was
bought
cheated.
it.
Ashanti region was cheated.
She bought it
should have
or
come
paid
to
for it.
Ashanti region.
So, we will get these things. I understand you, the media. You are being starved of issue. Don't worry, that season will come. We are going for.
We are not the ones. We are not the ministers. We are not the ones. We are not the ones who. You know you are feeding us.
The MPP too. Their elections is, I think, in a month too. Don't worry, we will come. The issues will bring themselves. Certainly, NDC is a living organism. We are made of Congress group of people. Certainly, when it's election time, you have things to talk about.
Let me spend the last minute on that.
How many minutes do we have?
2 minutes.
Hey, we do well, 1 man. The flood issue over the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about it. I have done extensive research. It's when you want to look at the root cause, it's a lack of planning. Government has something to do with it. Nananum also have a part to play because they are the custodians of the lands. Lands are owned by Nananum and families. Government needs to empower the agencies, town and country planning, to empower them, to ensure that even though the lands are being sold or leased by Nananum, there's a plan. There's a way we want the nation to look like. We should follow through it. People are buying wetlands and failing. Growing up in Inshiaso, I saw something. Where the parts of Inshiaso where it's low-lying, you realize that these government bungalows on government lands, they raised pillars. Pillars. Even though it's not a story building, it's sitting on pillars. The under is there. Sometimes car will park or you can put stuff under the building. It was to cater for moments like this. But today, when we buy lands in wet areas, we fill with laterite. Where would the water go when it's flooded? We are not also creating more gutters or drainage to hold the water. Now, if there's drainage, where does it take the water to? That place has been filled up. The land has been sold, used for commercial purpose. Whether fuel station, mostly fuel stations are in river areas, swampy areas. Now, government-owned lands. Over the years, many of the lands that Nkrumah acquired for government, for development, many have been released to Nananum and sold. Are you aware that Agenda 111, the reason they could not even get some spaces was because of land issue. Now, the Accra Kumasi Expressway, you know, is going through lands. And government will have to, by end of, I think, this month or so, go and compensate farmers whose land have been taken, and a lot of them. So, in a nation where it is not government that owns the land, planning becomes a difficulty. And the attitude of some of us, when we see rain, that's where we gather the rubbish and then throw them in the gutters. Where do they go? That rubbish, it goes to settle. Sometimes it blocks the culverts and flooding takes place.
Somebody said these days, if you are a tenant, maybe if you can, wait for rainy season.
Before you go and rent. Yes.
Because
yes.
You may not know the...
When you go to their square where they are constructing the bridge here. Have you looked down where the cocoa? Oh, okay. You need to just walk and go and see the plastic waste. You go to
Charlie.
Pelele.
Charlie.
Why is Pelele always full? We dump refuse in it. So government has a part to play. Nananum have a part to play. You and I. You drink water in a doom and you throw the sachet. Even here at the mall, come here early Monday morning.
Yeah.
Look at the environment.
Terrible.
Especially when there was an event.
We have dustbins dotted around.
And people throw things anyhow. So it's our attitude. And we are
maybe that's why government is considering banning some plastics. Which I think is good.
But in the interim, we need to also look at recycling plants. It costs so much to set up a recycling plant. It's not profitable. So that is where government must go in. It creates employment for those who will bring those things in and all that. So next year, I'm not a prophet. We will still next year by this time. We will come here and be talking.
Especially for Accra, at least Kumasi is
Accra, a wide area. I saw a drone image, wide area, flooded.
I saw a woman trying. The car was caught up in the
Toyota Blue. The man had to
stop.
Why did he attempt to
with
go
this
there?
car? Saloon smoke.
Can you imagine? He was attempting to go through it because apart from him, I didn't see any car. But for the Kia that came,
I'm telling you, they will have.
Can you? It happened. This road, Putoja, a whole family got swept away. I think 2-3 years ago, when the place was being gone, he was driving a pickup. They were coming from church. The man, the wife, the children, and the mother-in-law, all of them, the whole family wiped off because he wanted to drive it. He trusted his car.
Please, when you see that,
let us all take precaution.
It's better for the rain to beat you than for the rain to take you.
Accra, Kumasi.
What are
we also doing?
Yeah, especially if you go to some areas.
In Shiaso, growing up, I never saw flood. But these days you see some parts being flooded. So we will talk next year. Next 2 years,
we'll come back to it again
and count those who are died and the houses that have been flooded.
That's Evangelist. He's our guest, or he was our guest this morning. Kwenu said I should greet you for him.
I love him. He
love him.
Listening to you always and always knowing his. It's so encouraging.
Yeah, he's a very good.
You need to thank
friend
me that
of.
I brought him on board.
He was here before.
He has worked here.
He has worked here?
No, I'm asking you.
No. I think he used to.
I know he's an
ardent listener, but now he's. I don't know where he's like.
Chopping big money with Newmont.
From
Gold Board to Newmont.
He has never called me to say, "Oh, the money, gold, come and take."
Check your Momo account. When you get that message, check your Momo account.
I have sent you some 10K. Use it to go and sort yourself out. But good morning to you.
It will come.
You are still our brother, don't worry.
It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes something small for toys.
And even you listening to us is anytime when I share my post, you go and share it. He's a correct guy. Wow. He's a correct guy.
I need to follow you too.
Yeah. Good morning, Yakwenu. I've delivered your message to your friend. And that will be our show for now. God willing, tomorrow we'll meet again. I was here with Mark Waja, Janice Opoku Ajiman. Take this message when we return. DJ Fizzy will continue with the Orange Urban Mix. Stay with us.
Football fever is here.